U.S. oil and gas are usually more expensive for India compared to Russian or OPEC countries. Trump has often criticized Indian tariffs on American goods, and he calls them unfairly high. Will India put economic sense first? Or will it give in to US trade demands? Russia's role as a major energy supplier to India, and how will India balance in this case?
Thank you so much for joining, Olga. Olga Karina, you are an expert on trade. Of course, you are in Russia, in Moscow. And the recent development of how Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, he went to USA, he made multiple deals, and the biggest thing that he said that US could become the biggest supplier of crude oil to India. Earlier, it was Russia. So, how do you take it? How do you take this news being in Russia? What is the sentiment about it?
Oh, thank you. It's quite, yes, great news, even for Russians. And also, we have some worries about these deals and these agreements with the USA. But I would like to highlight some key points. I've noticed some three strategic key points of this visit. The first one, of course, about energy. The second is about some trade issues and some tariffs and so on.
Right.
And the third one is some strategic issues about military
Yeah.
things. You speak about, for example, the USA presence in Indian Ocean, and for example, as I saw this,
Yeah.
it's a kind of opposite position to China. Of course, if we speak about some energy things, about energy supplies, yes, this is quite honest and quite straight thing if we speak about the USA presence in India. But
Right.
I also would like to highlight that Trump has often criticized Indian tariffs on American goods,
Yeah.
and he calls them unfairly high. And his comments about using the US oil and gas exports to reduce the trade deficit fit with the US broader energy policy of, for example, using energy exports to boost its economic and
Right.
geopolitical influence even in the region. I would like to highlight that US oil and gas are usually more expensive for India compared to Russian or OPEC countries. Even if we speak about Qatar and if we speak about Australian even resources. And India has been making energy deals with Russia at lower prices,
Yeah.
especially since 2022 and working to diversify its energy sources to keep costs down and ensure energy security. If India starts buying more energy from the US
Mhm.
because of trade pressure, for example, from
Yeah.
Trump administration and so on, it could end up being more expensive unless to the US offers or other benefits. So I would like to bring a question. Will
Mhm.
India put economic sense first? Or will it give into US trade demands and
This.
finding the right balance between staying independent or cooperating on trade is a key issue for both countries. So I think we can't say that in the short term, India
Mhm.
is unlikely will dramatically change its energy policy to favor the US. But it could use the US proposals and
Right.
the US energy sector to secure better trade and investment policy. In the long run, it will much depend on how the US and China, some relations, rivalry, for
Right.
example, relations involves. And of course, Russia's role as a major energy supplier to India. And
Right.
how will India balance in this case? It will be the end key and the end issue for all of countries in this oil market and so on.
But for the understanding of a layman, Olga, can you tell us India buying the American oil? How expensive will it be? Because of course, then you are talking about transporting the oil from the West. Here you were buying oil from Russia. It is much easier to reach it to the refineries. So will that really, make a big difference? The oils will be more expensive for Indian consumers.
Yes, it will be quite much expensive. We speak about transporting, and it depends on some reasons. The first reason is shipping routes. For example, if the US oil and gas will transport to India via sea routes, it makes quite vulnerable, and some routes are not very stable, and
Mhm.
maybe will be some shipping delays. This is the first case. The second case is high LNG prices. If we speak about liquefied natural gas,
Right.
for example, high. Also, the US is a major exporter of the LNG. Its price may be higher compared to other supplies, like we speak about, for example, about Qatar. If we speak about, for example, even Russia or
Yeah.
Australia or some United Arab Emirates and so on and so on. And since India is a developing country, we speak about understanding of the US, high LNG prices
Right.
can
Right.
negatively
Right.
affect on its economy. Also, we can't predict some oil prices and oil market, and it's also quite vulnerable. And India depends heavily on oil imports and some oil
Mhm.
prices, and it can make the US oil more expensive,
Just few
which can lead to high cost for Indian consumers.
it was just couple of weeks back, we had all these discussions about BRICS and how the business of oil, which is being done in dollars, that will be transformed into a new currency, or the BRICS will have its own currency, or at least in the local currencies of Saudi or Russia. All that has got a big setback because of this decision of India. Is there a setback for Putin himself because of this?
I I don't think so. I don't think so that this is a kind of setback or I think India's role in BRICS countries and Indian Bro group and its expansion for example, it's quite high, and
Right.
India wants to keep some distance, I think. To keep some distance from the US, and can be kind of a balanced country between Russia and China, without getting tied down by any one-side agenda.
Right.
And if the US pushes India for more energy imports, India will likely use this to negotiate better deals in other areas like technology, like investment, like market access. And
Mhm.
I would like to say that this is a kind of strategic autonomy. This is a real understanding of this policy of India. So this is a balance between two groups of countries. If we speak about, for example, Western countries, and even
Right.
if we speak about BRICS countries. And this is not an opposite thing if we speak about, for example, relations with
But
Russia.
Modi cannot be friends with Trump and Putin together. Is that really possible?
Yes, of course, but this is the real policy
But
making.
then this
This
is
is,
a new world order then, with Trump
of
becoming the
course,
president.
Of course, but this is the real policy making for India. It's own national interests for India to have some priorities from other side, from different sides, and to understand how to behave better with this leader or another leader. And of course, if we speak about Russia, we also see some increases even in trade. If we speak about, for example, energy, we can see that it's 9% higher if we compare with even December, if we think about trade, about between Russia and India, also we speak about energy and oil and gas resources.
Right.
So it's like a kind of a balance between two countries, two blocks, if we can see. And also, of course, we have discussions with India about our MIR system and integration with RuPay system.
Yeah.
So it's also a kind of thing that will be good for both countries, even we speak about some money, investments, and so on and so on. So we can say that if Modi visits the US and has some agreements with Trump and other people in Trump's administration, we can say, okay, this is an opposite side. If we speak about Russia and we speak about BRICS countries, of course, China in difficulties with China. Yes, we have some difficulties within this bloc. We have some difficulties with the US, but we
Right.
can say that India just changed the policy completely due to Trump administration, due to
Mhm.
this visit. This is a balance between different difficulties in our world. And the common thing that I see now, this is the peaceful meetings for conflict resolution
Right.
for all countries. Russia wants some peaceful meetings. The US wants some peaceful meetings for some conflicts in the world. And
Mhm.
of course, India wants these peaceful meetings. So this is a kind of common thing for all countries. They can
Right.
unite in these ways. But if we speak about trade and we speak about some national interest, I think it's quite good policy for India, for Modi's administration. Of course, this is the whole implementation of this strategic autonomy, the policy of this strategic autonomy for India.
Thank you so much for your time, Olga, and giving us all these details that what is really happening. We had this understanding that, of course, it could be disheartening for Putin, considering whatever is happening and the war going on between Russia and Ukraine. And hopefully, we'll have a solution soon, as Putin and Trump are meeting in Saudi Arabia. The date is not decided yet, but the world is looking forward to this meeting and for the result
Of
of it.
course,
Thank you so
of
much for your
course,
time, Olga.
we hope we will change our world together, of course,
That's
and
that's going
our
to be
ties with India
completely
will be.
different setup that we are going to see if it works out, right?
Of course, I hope so. Yes.
Thank you so much for your
Yes.
time, Olga.
So, yes, yes. Goodbye.
Don't miss out. Log on to oneindia.com for more updates.